Today you're actually going to put your knowledge of the water cycle and how it moves through the earth into action. So you are a form of water moving through the earth, and you're going to follow the directions to circulate through the earth. If you are watching this lesson and you're not in the classroom, then I'm going to circulate for you, and you're going to complete this sheet, filling out every part. You're going to go to 3 locations. So location 1 will be the location that you are currently at. If you're watching the video, your first location is the ocean. Okay? If you are in the classroom, then your location is whatever location that you're sitting at. That'll be your location, and you will follow directions there. So, at the location, you're going to pick a card out of your bag, and you're going to read directions on what the card tells you to do. But first, make sure you write down your first location here. Then you're going to pick a card and read the action and write what it says here. So, if you're watching the video, at the ocean, my first card says this: you are one of the many water molecules in the ocean. Go to or stay at the ocean. So we are staying at the ocean if you're watching the video. If you are in the classroom, you will read your first card and do what that says. So in your box here, you're going to write what your card says here. Once you're finished writing that, you now have to answer this question here. What action did you take? Your action is a verb. For example, did you transpire? Did you transpire? Was it transpiration? Did you evaporate? Did you collect? Did you roll? Did you stay? Did you fall? All of those are examples. So you take a look at your card and decide, what did you do? Now it's your turn to write what part of the water cycle are you demonstrating here. So what part of the cycle are you demonstrating? Remember, there are 7. You already knew 4 right offhand from previous school years, but we added 3 more. So you need to look at your notes and also look at your flip book that we made, and your flip book and your notes will help you with the 7 parts. Then you're going to hear a signal, and that means you put the card back into the bag and you go to your new location. When you get there, you will repeat the steps, writing down your current location. If you're watching the video, remember it told us to stay at the ocean. So we write our new location, which is the ocean. If you're in the classroom and you had to move to a location, then you're going to write that location. Then we pick a card and we write the action for what that says. Our card for the video, at the ocean. We have a new card. And it says we are swallowed by a fish. And we need to move to the animal. If you're in the classroom, again, you will follow what your card says for the station you are at. So here, you need to write exactly what your card says, which is this. Then you're going to write down your action. In this case, you were swallowed. You didn't swallow. Remember, you're the water. So you were swallowed by an animal or a fish, whatever. And now you're going to have to write down what part of the water cycle are you demonstrating. Remember, there are 7. Then you're going to put that card back in the bag and go to the news station. Remember, for the video, it told us to go to the animal. So here we are at the animal. Make sure you write that news station here. Then you're going to pick a card and read the action. And write down what it says. Here's our card. And our action says, you are spit out on the ground by a person. You seep into the soil and become groundwater. Go to groundwater. Make sure you write all of that down if you're watching the video. Again, when you are in the classroom, those of you in the classroom, when we get set, you're going to do what your card says. Here, you now have to write down the action that you took. Now, you didn't do the spitting. You actually seeped into the soil. You were spit out and you seeped into the soil. Now you have to write down what part of the water cycle that is. Remember, there are 7. Then you're going to stop, but write your new location, which is groundwater. Okay, so right now we're going to take a look at a video of water circulating through the earth. So let's take a look. Alright, so you will notice in that video that the water actually became a person. So it acted as a person doing things like floating on the raft, then getting kind of the sun rays getting too hot, so it had to evaporate back up to the sky, and then it cooling down and gathering together with the other precipitants or the other water particles that have been in the air to be ready to fall down on the earth, falling into a puddle, making itself a puddle, capturing up, becoming snow, all of those things. So you now have on the back of your paper, you will now create a script for your water cycle comic. You notice on the front, you have scenes. So scene 1, scene 2, scene 3, and then you have your last location written here. You've created a script which will become your water cycle comic strip, and it will star you, but this time you will be water. You will not be your character that you created or your person that you created in bit strips. You will create a comic with you being water, like the video. Water is the star. You will use your location being your scenes from the front of the comic strip, and your comic strip must illustrate you as water and the path you took through the water cycle. So you wrote in your 3 different scenes here where you were, what happened, what you did, and what part of the water cycle it demonstrated. You did that in 3 scenes and you ended up at your final location. All of that must be visible in your comic strip. You may incorporate props and animals in your character if need be. If your scene, the things that happen, suggested or needed to be there. If not, then you should not be adding anything extra. Your comic must have speech bubbles or caption box. So allow your water to talk, or if there's things around it like animals, plants, even bodies of water, people, to say something. Or there needs to be a caption box describing what's happening. Within the bubbles of your characters or objects saying something, you're going to bring everything to life. It needs to have vocabulary, or if you're just doing caption boxes, or if you're doing both, you need to have at least 5 of the water cycle and groundwater vocabulary words. Here, you're going to need to use your notes and your vocabulary to look up. So use your book, your notebook, your binder, and look up your water cycle notes and your groundwater notes and vocabulary. When you are finished with your comic, and you're going to get 2 days to do this, today and tomorrow, but when you are finished working on your comic, you will submit it to me. After the deadline, I will block it and you will not be able to work on it any further. If you would like to work on it at home, that is up to you, but I will have class time available for you to work on it, both in class and out of class. If you are at home and you are watching this video, then you need to be working on it out of class. When you are finished, you're going to answer these 5 questions and these 2 questions below. So all of this you will answer. Then you will hand it in. This is an assignment that counts as a project grade, so it does count 2 times. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask me. If you are watching this online, you can email me or leave a comment in the YouTube video or send me a Facebook message. This concludes our lesson.